Welcome to another episode of Pixar Movie Reviews. I'm Josiah Milkey, and today we are talking about a film that's one of the more interesting ones, one of the ones that doesn't really do it for me, but I can understand why other people like it. Our Pixar movie today is WALL-E. WALL-E is Disney and Pixar's ninth movie, and it has some interesting stuff going for it. The beginning of the film is largely a silent film, and it's all acting. Then when we actually get to outer space, that's when it becomes exciting. WALL-E was released to theaters summer 2008. It was the second Pixar movie directed by Andrew Stanton after Finding Nemo. It's got lots of stuff going on for it. Really, it's got Pixar's first love story with the two robots, Wall-E and Eve. They had Pixar characters in love before, but the love story never really played into the main plot or anything, but this is one where it did. When Wall-E was released, summer 2008, it was actually just under a year after Ratatouille. It got unanimous critical praise, or near unanimous critical praise, like most of Pixar's movies. It also did pretty well at the box office, bringing in about $520 million worldwide. However, it only ranked in the middle of Pixar's movies at the box office, above John Lasseter's films, the two Toy Story films, A Bug's Life, and Cars, but below the other Pixar films, Monsters Incorporated, Finding Nemo, and Brad Bird's two films, The Incredibles and Ratatouille. But WALL-E is, I kind of like it to a certain extent. Anyone who knows me knows that I love almost anything outer space related, so naturally I should like WALL-E. And while I do like it when they actually go to space, it takes them a while to get there, so it's a bit of a drag at the beginning for me. But I'll explain as I tell the story. Set 700 years in the future, WALL-E, Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth class, has been cleaning up a hopelessly polluted Earth for years. His only companion is a little cockroach, and he's developed a bit of a personality as he collects different items among the garbage and brings them to his collection. One of his most treasured possessions is a videotape of Hello Dolly that he watches every day, where he copies the music and learns how to dance. One day he discovers a plant, the most beautiful thing he's ever seen on Earth, and then he meets Eve, extraterrestrial vegetation evaluator, a female egg-shaped search robot who's looking for plant life to see if Earth is sustainable now. She meets Wall-E, and they take a look at Wall-E's collection, and she becomes rather impressed with Wall-E's stuff, but then she takes the plant from him and goes into hypersleep. Wall-E takes care of her, sheltering from storms and stuff, until her spaceship comes to take her back to the Axiom, a ship where the humans live, pampered by robots, until they can return to Earth. The story goes from there, as Wall-E and Eve try to deliver the plant to the captain of the Axiom, and shenanigans ensue with the ship's autopilot wanting to keep the Axiom in space, and the humans from returning to Earth. Wall-E and Eve team up with a group of rogue robots to take down the autopilot and save humanity. So, what do I like, what do I dislike about WALL-E? Like I said, anyone who knows me knows that I love anything that has to do with outer space. So, when they actually go to space, it's actually a lot of fun. It's where the film really picks up with the action, and we get to see how humans have been living on the Axiom. The captain's a pretty good character, voiced by Jeff Garlin, plus we get to know a few of the extra humans. Their names are John and Mary, voiced by John Ratzenberger and Kathy Najimy. So this will be an easy one to recognize for John Ratzenberger, because in this one they both have the same name. There's also a whole bunch of other robots on the ship, namely Mo, a microbe obliterator who cleans up dirt, and of course the autopilot, who ends up being the villain of the picture. The animation is rather nice all the way through. Probably my favorite scene, aside from the climax, is Wall-E and Eve's little dance out in space. Their date, so to speak. That's very pretty. And the music by Thomas Newman is wonderful. Stuff I don't like. The first part of it, I'll say the first half hour, 45 minutes maybe, I don't remember for sure. But the first little bit of it, or the first half I'll call it, with Wall-E on Earth cleaning up garbage, that's the part that gets a little slow for me. It does pick up a little bit when Eve shows up and Wall-E's trying to impress her and stuff, but it really isn't until they meet and then later when they go to space that the film really picks up for me. Also, the messaging of environmentalism. While I don't particularly care for messages we get on environmentalism in some other movies that I also rather enjoy, like The Lorax or Fern Gully or Blue Sky's Epic, Wall-E has a pretty good message on environmentalism and taking care of the Earth without being too preachy. Also, the robot voices, most of them are just limited to saying their names and maybe a few other things. The primary robots we have to worry about are Wall-E, Eve, the autopilot, and to a certain extent, Mo. So the robot dialogue is extremely limited. It's like a Charlie Chaplin film or something. But, so while I enjoy the trip to outer space, the music by Thomas Newman, and the voice cast for the humans, the message of environmentalism is good, but at least they don't preach it too much, because that would really be a problem. And the robot voices maybe could have been a little better. Also, this is the first Pixar movie with a live-action character, because they have Fred Willard playing the By and Large boss. By and Large is the company that Wall-E works for. So, it may not be the best Pixar movie ever. I definitely rank Wall-E pretty low. I currently have it at number 18 on my ranking of all the Pixar movies, which is 4th from the bottom. But, if you like it and don't have a problem with the silent film-ish elements at the start before they go to space, then fire away in the comments section below. Let me know what you think of Wall-E. And thanks a lot. I'll see you next time on Pixar Movie Reviews. I'm Josiah Milky, and thanks for watching.